Hi, and welcome to our Today's Plan tutorial on viewing a file. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into a file on our calendar. Click on that. We're going to start first. This is called the Activity Summary View. So one of the coolest things about Today's Plan is when you click on an activity from your calendar, you've got lots of different options to view and analyze the file directly from that kind of short, condensed summary view. So we're not going to go over all of these tabs here. There's just too much detail to kind of cover in a short video. But we'll start by looking at a few of these summary statistics. So first of all, this is kind of the meat of kind of the summary details of your ride. And as always with most area of Today's Plan, if you want to customize a bunch of those, you can click on this gear icon and kind of adjust and swap out, move up and down, any of those different options that you might want to see. This is kind of the standard default that I like to see. It's a simplified thing of kind of what I would consider to be the core essentials of the ride, but you might like something else and you can kind of mess around with that here. So the next one we're going to jump into is actually the analysis tab. So this is kind of the more standard perspective that you're used to in terms of seeing how your data is displayed. Now there's a lot to unpack in this view here, and we'll cover some of that in some future tutorial videos. But for now, you can kind of see there's different ways that you can highlight your data. If you'd like to kind of bring up some different data channels here, and kind of highlight them, or if you'd like to hide them altogether, you have those options that you can select here. If you have different types of pieces of data that you want to show up here on this chart view, you can of course change that too as well. So any of these other different types of charts, you can of course customize those as well. So over the course of coaching, if you've got more questions about kind of how to dial in this perspective, we'll cover those as well. So right now we're going to head back to the activity summary view and cover a few of these items on top. So if this is a really kind of key activity for you, you can click this little bookmark button. It's another area of Today's Plan that's really cool. You'll see any alerts here pertaining to this file. So here you can see there's a mismatch between the FTP setting I have on my Garmin and what is inside Today's Plan. That's an example of a little alert that you'll get to pop up here. A few other pieces here that tell you about your ride. Here along the top, this is where we have our subjective metrics, right? So we have RPE. We could click on that and we can give an RPE rating for this ride. So we might say, oh, this ride was about a 3, somewhat hard. My total quality recovery, so that would be how well do I feel I recovered in the time before this ride. So I might say I had pretty good recovery. I had a good sleep. I was able, on top of my nutrition, good recovery. My leg quality score, so this might be, well, how well did my legs feel? I might say, these were my best legs ever. I felt like I didn't have a chain on my bike. I could just go for days. You can see here, this is a really neat element of Today's Plan where we can layer on different subjective ratings, and we can put those ratings in after a ride to then add more detail and more context to the objectivity of data from our ride file. So the next thing we're going to move to is how to leave a comment. So on your ride, you can click on this add a comment box. And you might say, I had a great ride. If you want to add any pictures, any links to pictures, you could click on this here and add any links. If you wanted to share those with your coach, if you have pictures on your computer, you could just drag and drop those into this box right here, and then you'd be done right there. So after you leave your comment, you can click add, and then you're all done. So one more thing I wanted to show you as well. When you come out here to your calendar view, you'll know that your coach has reviewed your file, whether or not he's left a comment or not, but you'll know that your coach has reviewed your file by this little green check mark. So when you come back out to your calendar, you can quickly look at your ride and you can know that your coach has reviewed that file. That's kind of that signal there. So if you have any additional questions about how to look at a ride file, of course, let me know and we'll continue to get you hooked up. Thanks.